What's up, guys? It's your boy, the Piscean Predator, back with some TPP True Crime Talk. And I want to go ahead and I was going to hold off on making this video, but we're going to go ahead and shoot it. This video is on my working theory on the Idaho 4 case. My theory, just on start to finish, on my thoughts on the whole thing, from possible motive, psychological makeup, how the victims were targeted. I mean, a little bit of everything, right? And it's all based off of facts, right? And facts as far as what we've learned in the affidavit and what we've learned in the search warrant, and yeah, actual facts. So I'm going to try to stay away from the rumors, the conspiracies, and just give you my opinion, my breakdown with just the facts. Okay, we'll start at the psychological breakdown, as far as what I feel like we're dealing with here. And like I said, it's just my opinion, my theory, based off of what we know. So based off what we know with his personality, from interviews with friends, former former coworkers, just the general vibe with him. Like, I feel like we're dealing with an individual that I feel like he's not just like a narcissist, and I'm hearing sociopath and stuff like that, but I feel like he's on the spectrum. I feel like narcissist, definitely. And then I'm real torn on sociopath, or if we're looking at somebody that is slipping into like schizophrenia, right? We already know about the visual snow, and he had a pretty good grasp of himself at a really young age, which is pretty interesting. I'm not sure what trait would lend to that, but pretty interesting. If you go read his writings in the medical journal that he was making entries in for this visual snow, it's pretty impressive for his age at the point in time. Now, so I think we're looking at a very complex psychological makeup. I don't think this is just like, oh, he just got, treated a certain way and he snapped. No, I think this is a very unique individual that had multiple things psychologically going, and then socially compounded by events, by, the girls and the way they treated him. But I think that might have been because of the way he came off towards them, on why he was treated that way. Granted, I wasn't there, so I don't know, but just from what I hear, possibility. Okay, that being said, that's what kind of person I think we're dealing with. And then an addict on top of that. So it's like a very complex psychological makeup. Now, somebody like that could pull off some seriously heinous stuff. So that just lends to my opinion of they have the right guy. Now, in my theory, I don't think that he showed up to Washington and then kind of formulated this plan to do what he did. I don't think that just happened willy-nilly, I think that he had planned to do what he did before he ever moved. Now, whether he knew who or where, that's a whole nother story. But I don't believe he just showed up and then developed that plan. I feel like he showed up where he showed up with the plan that he had, for a reason. I don't think it was by chance. I think that's some of the connections to his studies in the serial killer genre that he obviously was into. Okay, so he shows up and he immediately, it's showing like he pretty much right out the gate is stalking the house or the people in the house, but definitely stalking. He's in the area. Now, we know that for sure. Digital footprint in the affidavit. Now, what's up in speculation is all the social media stuff, right? It's like we think that he was following some of them, but like so many of those accounts got taken down, and some of them were fake, and like we just don't know. Until it 100% comes out in the trial, we don't know. So that's speculation. But we do know the digital footprint puts him there like 12 different times, I think. So, yeah, right out the gate, he had his plan. Now, scary part is it looked like he took a page out of Bundy and was going to try to put himself in the local law enforcement, probably to help himself get away with the crime. And that's truly how I feel about that. Okay. And with this theory too, I'm not adding in any of the rumors or speculations, anything that's come out before the gag order or after the gag order, because keeping it strictly to the affidavit and what we know for a fact. Okay, so I do think that it was targeted. The house was targeted. I'm not 100% sure if those victims were targeted first, then he figured out where the house was. I feel more like he figured out where the house was, figured out who the victims were, did his research, stalked, and developed his plan. Now, I think the date's important. I think that was picked on purpose, either to pay homage towards somebody else in the serial killer realm, or there were murders that happened that were close to him that had that MO on that date, and it would be a good way to throw off the investigation if you're intelligent, which he fancies himself as intelligent. So I feel like that was that had to happen that date. It was gonna happen that date. Now, where things get sideways for his plan, right, is that when he went to go do what he did, there were more people than he anticipated. And I truly believe he was after 2 other girls, simply for the fact that if he was after one and there was just, an extra person in that room and he had to kill 2, he would have just left. He didn't have to kill anybody else. He could have left. But he didn't. He went ahead and killed 2 more people. So one of those other people had to have been a target. So in my opinion, one victim upstairs and one victim down, one victim on the 3rd story and then one victim on the 2nd story, those were the targets. The other 2 are collateral damage for him. So I also believe the how it went down in the house, the whole sequence of events, was he came in, I think, sliding back door. I don't think he came in the front. Slipped in, killed the 2 girls upstairs, came down, killed the first victim on the 2nd floor, made his way into the room, killed the 4th victim. I feel like the sequence was Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, then Ethan. I believe it's in that order based on the affidavit's description, or not really description, but the description of the wounds given out. I guess not just in the affidavit, but also in the first coroner's report that she had come out and talked about. It just kind of does line up with the affidavit a bit. So it would imply to me that description would show an instrument or a weapon getting dull or being damaged. So first kill was cleaner cuts, like stabs, and then the second one was more stabs but rips. And I think that was both from either the knife being damaged or dulled. Plus, I feel that rage in that situation with the second victim, there was rage there because that person wasn't supposed to be there. So it totally ruined the whole fantasy that this person had. Could be wrong. Like I said, it's a theory. And then he makes his way down. I believe that he runs into Xana, and I believe that he attacks her. I don't know if he kills her or if he basically she's injured to the point where she's almost dead, and then I believe he attacks Ethan. And then I have this feeling, based on what was said, on what was heard by one of the surviving roommates, that he possibly came back to Xana when she was dying and finished killing her. It sounds morbid, I'm sorry, but that's just kind of what I put together in my head from listening to the affidavit, going through the actual house and looking at the layout. That's what makes sense to me. And then obviously after that, he leaves to the back door. Now, when he leaves, I feel like the first thing he did on his trip was he got rid of the clothes. He changed, got rid of the bloody clothes. What he did with them, whether he burned them, I don't know what he did. Probably burned them, but he got rid of the clothes. I don't think he got rid of the knife until like one of his next trips out of the house that were longer. I feel like when he did get rid of that knife, and probably even the second change of clothes that he had changed into just to get, rid of all evidence, I feel like that knife, he probably put that somewhere. He probably stashed that somewhere. I feel like we're looking at somebody that may have killed already or was planning on being a long-term serial killer. And I think that knife would have been important for him to keep, or at least important enough to where he knew where it was. Like, he would always knew where it was, whether he was going to go back and get it soon or not, but he would always know where it was. Trophy. I mean, like, that's the number one trophy, right? So, and then we don't know if he took anything else either from the house. So I feel like that knife, and if he did take anything else, would be stashed. Definitely stashed somewhere on the route that he took, on any of those longer trips that he took after the murder. So that's my theory so far, working up to the point of the murder. There's a lot of little stuff in between, right? Because there's a lot of stuff we don't know. Like, we know that he stalked him, but we don't know for sure if he was following him outside of the 12 times they have him digitally footprinted in that area of the home. There's a lot of speculation, a lot of rumors, so I don't know. All I do know, in my opinion, my theory, is definitely this was planned before he moved. He moved there, he started to implement his plan, and honestly, I think the only thing he messed up on, there's two things that he messed up on, and if he would not have messed up on these, even with the surveillance of that white car that we got, the white Hyundai, even with that surveillance footage of that car, there's two things that if he would not have messed up on, we would not know who he is. And there's two things. Obviously, the sheath. Now, whether he left that sheath there on purpose, or rage, lost it, or it was pulled off of him, he messed up with that DNA in the button. Because he obviously wiped that sheath down, sterilized it in a way to where there was no DNA on it besides in that little spot. So he messed up there. Now, the other place that he messed up that I don't even hear nobody talking about is the burner phone. So he picked that phone up when he moved, right? And that's the phone he was going to use to do his stalking, his surveillance, and all that stuff, right? So he got that, I feel, specifically for the reason of what he was going to do for the murder. Now, where he messed up was he got pulled over prior to the murder and ended up giving that phone number to the law enforcement that had pulled him over. So now that number's on file. So if he would have went and got a new phone, a new burner phone, and wouldn't have continued to use that same phone and create that digital footprint, if he would have went and got a whole new burner phone, we would have known about it. Because they didn't recover his phone, right, to get the number. Like, we know about the number because he got pulled over. So the little things. So little things. If he wouldn't have messed up on those two little things, he might have got away with this. Definitely. But yeah. And then as far as like all the speculations on what he did afterwards, like I said, that's just all I'm just speculating off of the digital footprint they've given us, his trips, here and there. And then outside of that, we don't really know a lot. A lot of speculation, a lot of rumors, a lot of hearsay. I don't want to get into all that because, like I said, I don't really like to, honestly. Like, I don't really like to, unless I'm going to debunk something, which I've already debunked pretty much everything people pulled up that it's been rumors or speculation that's off the wall rabbit holes. I've already covered. So yeah, man, that's what I'm thinking, man, is like super complex psychological makeup, perfect storm scenario with all the stuff that's happened in his life, completely planned, 100% planned. And I feel, like I said, was planned before he moved to Washington. I truly feel like Washington was picked for nefarious reasons, because of the connections to Bundy and all that stuff. I just yeah, I feel like this individual thought he was going to take all his education, right? Both his formal education and whatever he did outside of that to learn. I think he took all that and was going to fashion himself into a new age, serial killer. One of the most infamous. It's what I truly feel. And in my opinion, what we do know, I mean, it pushes me to believe that even more. What I'm curious though is when we get to trial is if, and it probably won't happen during trial, but after trial, I'm wondering if they connect him to anything else. I really do, because there's some stuff out there that looks real similar to this one, and yeah, it makes me wonder. But if he hasn't killed before, he was definitely gonna kill again. I truly believe that. I think we are looking at something that's not a. He did a mass murder, and they're gonna label that technically, but I think we're looking at somebody that was gonna become a serial killer, and just two small mistakes into his career, two tiny mistakes, and that's all it took. Definitely. But all right, guys. So that's my working theory so far. If you have questions on little details about it, like you want finally broke down, I'm down for conversation. Hit me up in the comments. Other than that, man, if you guys give me a little like, and a subscribe, appreciate it greatly. Yeah. Other than that, much love, y'all. Have a beautiful night. It's your boy, the Piscean Predator. I'm out. Peace.